Children of God, today we are going to talk about chieftaincy and developments. The role of chiefs in terms of our development. It is like a summary. We are not going to go deep into it, but we will take a summary. We will summarize everything. And I know at the end, you will gain from it. I will also gain from it. There are several books that we can get help from to guide us. One of such books is Nkabomu #1, Nkabomu Diedikan, written by Osei-Boadu. We have Nkabomu 2, Asante Nkabomu 2, the second one. We also have Outline of Ashanti History. In fact, when you go into these books and then Ashanti culture, because Ashantis fall within the people of Akan in Ghana, by learning their culture, it's almost like learning everything of the Akans. What is chieftaincy? Chieftaincy. Chieftaincy institution. You see, God created man and woman and commanded us to give birth. That's the reason why we have so many people on this planet Earth. And the chieftaincy itself is an institution by God. When we get into the Bible, the people of Israel requested for a chief. Why? Because all the other states, or let me say the other kingdoms around them, were having chiefs. It was really instituted from the beginning. Chiefs have so many roles that they play, especially when it comes to our rural areas. It is one of the oldest and highly cherished institutions in Ghana when you come to our country. And it is backed by law. Chieftaincy Act in 1971 backs chieftaincy. You know, they are the custodians of our land. God gave us this land. But every family also has a portion that belongs to them, where they do cultivate, they do all sort of things. And within a town or a village, there are several families, and their head is the chief. So the chief is taken care of on behalf of the families. He makes sure that things are done and done well. We have a chief, especially when we limit to the Akan. We have a chief who is a man, and a queen mother who is a woman. The queen mother is the mother of all. When you come to the Akans, the queen mother could be the mother of the chief or the king, could be the sister of the king or the chief. The queen mother could also be a niece. That is the chief's sister's daughter. Just as the chief or the king could be the queen mother's uncle. That's the queen mother's brother. Or the queen mother's brother from the same mother, biological, from the same mother. Or could be the queen mother's son. As I said, the Chieftaincy Act in 1971 backs it. And in 1992 Constitution 2, the institution of chieftaincy, together with its traditional council, are established by customary law and usage. What are the roles of chiefs? Because they are the custodians of the land. They are the custodians of the norms of the people. They preserve what is left for them. So the chiefs make sure that there is development and things are done right. Now, when you move out of the Akan lands or the Akan tribes and you go to the other tribes, let me use Ghana as an example, especially the northern parts, the chiefs sit on skins. They sit on skins. That is their throne. When you come to the southern parts, the chiefs sit on stools. I want us to be careful here. Now, within, how do chiefs do their work? We will come to that. But let's look at some things here. When it comes to chieftaincy, we have divisions. In fact, the highest among the ranks of chieftaincy is the paramount chief. The paramount chief is the one in which all the other chiefs belong to. It's like they all come together and their main chief is the paramount chief. The paramount chief oversees several towns and villages. He is the caretaker for several villages and several towns. For example, when you pick Techiman traditional area, there are several towns under Techiman traditional area. Several. The paramount chief is the overlord of all those towns and villages. After the paramount chief, there are other chiefs. They are the people who work with the paramount chief directly in the traditional council. So there are also some chiefs who are under the paramount chief, and they also have villages under them. Apart from them having their towns, they also have their villages under them. So as I said, you come to Techiman, there are many. For example, we have the one who is called Akwamuhene. We have Nifahene, Benkumhene, Chidomhene, Trafohene, and many. I can't mention all. You go to a place, okay? So after them, we have also chiefs, we call them sub-chiefs, who are in charge of the villages. So the chiefs gather the villages under them, and they all come to serve or to enhance the development agenda or developmental agenda of the paramount chief. Go to a place like Nkranza, we have the paramount chief. Then there are several towns under Nkranza Traditional Council. With those towns, some are big enough. So there are chiefs there who help the paramount chief at the Traditional Council. And under them also are sub-chiefs. Also several towns. The same way in all traditional councils. So we have paramount chief, the chiefs, and the sub-chiefs. When you go to Asante Council, let's pick one of the states. In fact, a traditional council is like a state. Let's say here, I wouldn't say a region, but I would rather say maybe a district, a municipal. I'm just trying to use that one to explain. But ideally, traditional council goes beyond municipal, goes beyond districts. A traditional council may have its towns under it, even within 4 districts, 4 municipalities, 5 districts, 5 municipalities. It depends on how the land is. And it can even cross over to a region, a different region, political region. It doesn't change it. Now, when you go to Asante Council, there are several paramount chiefs, like the paramount chief of Finso traditional area, which also has a very vast land, with chiefs occupying those towns. And under those towns, there are villages where sub-chiefs are. So there are several of them. But among them is a prime one. The one who is also different. Which is, that person is called Asantehene. He is the overlord of all the Asanteman Council, or of all the Asantes. Whether the person is in a different region or a different country and falls under Asanteman, he is the overlord. And under him are the paramount chiefs in the Asanteman Council. So that is how chieftaincy works. And when you come to the Akan states, each chief, each paramount chief has his queen mother. I would say a paramount queen mother. And then under the paramount chief, the chiefs also have their various queen mothers who advises them and help them in leading their people. Chiefs do not rule per se, but they rather lead their people to do the right thing. They make sure that our norms are preserved, the good ones, and they discard the bad ones. The sub-chiefs also, which we call Odikru, Odikrufu, they also have their queen mothers. Now, one thing that we should understand clearly is that the paramount chiefs have the power to raise the level of a certain chief or a certain sub-chief to become a chief. When they realize that you have served enough to warrant that, they have the power to do it. This is the first part of the summary. Next time, I will continue. Thank you very much.